Hello, good morning. Good morning from UK to Laos. Respected guest and respected host, and my dear friend Bao over there. Very pleased to be here and speaking with you. I hope everything is good. Let me share my presentation there. So today I want to speak about advancing multidimensional sustainability governance. This idea of multidimensional sustainability governance has been with me since my PhD. My PhD was specifically focusing on how we can increase sustainability leadership, but not only in one area, just as economic or finance or social, but in multidimensional way. So that is where this idea has been always with me, and I wanted to share a few things about it. So the main idea of multidimensional sustainability, we can only build such multidimensional sustainability if we bring multidimensional stakeholders, that is, stakeholders from each and every area. And also how we can then understand to engage with them, and then how we can change our actions collectively, individually, but also collectively, and then how we can perform better. So that is what my whole PhD was. And the modus operandi of that is that whenever you change any policy or a value, it changes your actions. And when actions are changed, the performance also change. And that is what I believe, that when we have to, so we have to start with changing our values. But this PhD was a written thesis. I couldn't visualize it. And therefore, I wanted to build a visualization of my model. And therefore, I started a network, and I wanted everyone or every stakeholder of the society to engage with it. And so I have found Global Sustainable Future Network since 5 years. I started in October 2019, but formalized it in 2020. However, it is still not registered as an entity because it's not a requirement in UK, but it is a great network, like a global network. It has flourished very well. It has grown organically from early career researchers to various multi-stakeholders at the moment, and I have 8,000 coordinators in 180 countries. I won't take much time on that. And I have a YouTube video about my vision and activity, which I have shared here as a link. And if you wish to have a look, it is a 5-minute video. Do have a look. So, as I said, we have a huge number of people, coordinators in our country. But what we do is, whenever anyone joins our network, we ask them to fill up a form, and we ask them to fill what is the driver of their activity, in a sense of which SDG is the driver. I know that all SDGs are connected, but something has to be your driver to motivate you to do the action. And so, say for example, SDG 14, because I believe that progress through partnership, and partnership is very essential for any activity to be deployed at the moment in this our society where each one has their own way of doing, and they have own expertise and so on. And climate change or sustainable development is something that one cannot achieve without each other's help. And therefore, I think progress to partnership, that is what I believe, and therefore I would write, say, SDG 17. Then we also ask their name, but we also ask that where they are focused, in which domain they lie. So we have four domains like research, education, business, enterprise, so business or enterprise, and community. Our activity can be, you know, be within out of one of these domains. And so, for example, I am a researcher and therefore I have written research. Then there are various levels of your activity where you feel that you are the strongest. Some might be stronger at a global level, but at some might be stronger at university level or home level or local level, or in certain community or in certain sector. And that is what we are asking. And then finally we want you to describe yourself into three words, key words. So transdisciplinarity, partnerships, and equity, these are my three motives, my three words. And therefore these can be like my prescription, my bio, that can prescribe me, saying, so if anyone see these all key words, would understand what are my beliefs and how I want to work or how do I work and so on. So that is where we ask when people join us, and based on that we prepare a chair batch. This is what is an example of chair batch, what I'm sharing with you today. And this is what we give to our members who join us. Um, at the heart of our GSFN, we believe that there is a leadership culture that we want to create. And generally, the normal leadership is what I have shown here at the bottom. Like dependent indicators are there, meaning that someone is at on the authority, and then all they guide the people, and that is how they lead their organization or their area, and or their team. The second type of leadership is like individual leadership, in a sense of you are expert in your own niche and you lead yourself as a leader. However, this that is very good, and the person can be very expert and leader. However, these all leaders are working in silos, and therefore there are plenty of disconnection between their leadership. And finally, therefore, what we are trying to say that leadership is interdependent. It is like everyone in a team has to work as a leader. Collective leadership is the way to move forward. And what happens in this interdependent leadership, that today here what we have seen, like for me and Bao and other our host, what they have shown a leadership to come together, meaning that it is a self leadership. No one has forced them to do that. So it is proactive accountability. They thought that yes, I need to do it, and therefore they are here. But at the same time, it is a coach-like engagement. This type of workshop is a coach-like engagement, meaning that I learn from you, you learn from me. And people's leadership grow as we grow with each other. And the team is formed, and therefore it is indeed interdependent. If I had said to Bao that no, if I had not agreed to work with him, then it is not possible. So team leadership, and therefore that is called interdependent collaboration. And finally, this becomes a culture for each other, and that is called cultural leadership. And that is where transformative and innovation comes in. So that is what I believe for GSFN, and that is our core belief which guides us further. So this is my site, and if you visit, this one is my site, and if you visit, you will be able to see all our programs. So far, GSFN has already, as I said, 8,000 coordinators in 180 countries. We are connected with 27,000 on LinkedIn. That is personally me, but also people know me as GSFN. And we have these actually, these coordinators are not just individuals. They are connected, they are institutions and companies and networks, and that is how I'm connected to 2 million people. And we have every year on annual conference, we give out some awards, and therefore we have given out 600 GSFN awards so far. And we are also received awards, especially me, but because of my activity, because of GSFN, I have received some awards, which are now 7, but lately I have like 2 most prestigious ones are I was invited by the government of Argentina to receive a Sustainability Leadership Award, and lately I have got Creative Woman Platform of the World for Sustainability. So these are various achievements we have. We have already got some grants as well. We have received six grants, and we have done collectively some papers and so on. And so we are influencing, we have made a quite of impact. We have presented at high level dialogues such as COP and Stockholm Plus and KCI and many others, CTCN, TAC and many others at UN level as well. And that is how we have achieved our presence in and making impact. So let me come to SDGs. SDGs are definitely the aspiration or at a national level where each nation wants to achieve their SDG targets. But they are also made by people and for the people. And they are specially made to make our society stronger, but at the same time, our economy is also stronger. And um, and especially, we want to see that no one is left behind in these development pathways. And therefore, it is called Sustainable Development Goals. So, and I don't need to preach much because now we are at the 25, quite a long time we have these, and many people know them. However, what happens that if we want to introduce sustainable development goals within our, activities within, and especially within the university, we need to have institutional wide collaborative approach. This is one of the paper I have written and as a case study for university, and therefore I would like to show this. And there are 4 core areas where we need to focus, which is education, research, operations, and extensions. Education meaning that each and every courses must have an element of sustainability within it. That is how to incorporate curriculum sustainability within the curriculum. And also the staff must be trained for delivering such learning. Research is that we have to have an applied research in a sense of many of people do research, but they are very narrow and does not look at the real world problems. So we have to look at the real world problems and achieve research those solutions that are applicable on a local context. And then operation, we have to look at our own, like university has its own operation, and that can be assessed against sustainable practices, and we can improve on energy use, water use, waste management, procurement, and how we serve the society through the operations and so on. So that is where it is called sustainable and environmental management systems come into the operations. And finally, university is very, very well placed to connect with the local community. They have to involve the external, local, and global issues, showing that they have this knowledge, they have this motivation to address these problems for the society. They are these people whom society can rely on to offer solutions. So, and what can this happen that, if we are if we are integrating SDGs or the knowledge of sustainability or sustainable development goals within the education, it turns into the greater competence of the society to address the adverse impact of climate change, but not only climate change, but also the future problems that might be coming in, or even the problems in economics or society. And they also become a committed citizenship, because that has made them greater, like created a competent person, and therefore they are committed citizenship, and that would be displayed into workplace and living, which would again benefit the society. So, what is effective education for sustainable development? It layouts the foundation for sustainability. Then it can also connect your sustainability of local, national, and global level. And finally, it can contribute to sustainable development goals. And this sustainability literacy is like, you would understand what is the environment, and you will be able to take the stewardship for the environment. You will be able to look into future, that these problems are there, and if these problems are not solved, they will create worse impact. So that is future facing outlook is developed. And the global citizenship, you become more tolerant to people, or you become more approachable, you become more flexible, you absorb the problems, and you become more resilient. And therefore the global citizenship is created, and that is how social justice and peace and well-being is also created. So it is very important that we integrate sustainable development into our education. For sustainable development is very, very important. Now I want to move towards like university, that how university can be at the forefront of agriculture sustainability and business empowerment. Because you know because your faculty is a agriculture faculty, and therefore, and also I know that there is a vision. I think Bao and others have mentioned about this, that there is a vision of food security in the country. And therefore, and because you are very well placed in agriculture sector, we must see that how we communicate or how we engage with the community to strengthen their SDG capacity. And what this can happen, that we learn from the community, and the researchers go and engage with the community and learn from them, and they investigate some problems, and then they identify innovative solutions. And this is how different stakeholders can come together and work for the solutions. But also these researchers can translate this learning to the students, that how they were able to identify the problem, solve the problem, and provide appropriate solution to the local context. And that learning can allow, we are not saying that to learn the solution, but we need to learn how to create a solution, and that is very important. And how we can equip ourselves for decision making, and that is what I think we can learn from the community, and that should be the process for decision making. Because currently what is happening, that decisions are made at the high level, just like a policy making and other things, but without any engagement with the local problems or local community. I don't say they are totally disaggregated, but however, very less community involvement is there, and therefore we need to engage with the community more and more, and we have to prepare our students or our future managers with this skill, and this skill can be developed only by practice. Of course, there are few models that can teach them. We can teach them theory, but practice is very important, and therefore we need to create a way that they learn this skill and help themselves to become better future managers. So, and what will happen that at this, if we avoid, if we relate our these better practices with some reward, then it is more motivational, and people try to improve more and more. So rewarding is also one of the very important part when we talk about performance, and that is how local government can achieve their NDCs. So that is what I wanted to focus on. So let me talk about now few programs that we do. One of them is 20 Million Farmers Initiative, which is, I think, Bao is always fascinated with agriculture and big numbers. So uh, here what we are trying to do is we are trying to ensure, I won't go on in the theory, and so I have deleted few slides from this, and you have, I can also share a recording of my full recording of 20 Million Farmers. But however, what we want to do is we want to ensure that there is a fair pricing for providing direct market access to the farmers, because farmers, we know that they hardly earn $2 a day, and they live in a very poor condition, and also not only poor condition, but they are deprived of many daily utilities such as electricity or internet or education and so on. And therefore we need to provide them better income, but market, so that they can get the income. And we also want to understand, like improve their financial inclusion. We want to enhance the transparency. You must have heard about EUDR, which is EU directive for deforestation, and they are asking all the all the supplies to declare their sources from where they have come, and especially they have focused on six material at the moment, six commodities at the moment, which is like coffee, cocoa, timber, and so on. And it is very hard for them because they have never been into this, area or of traceability or technology and so on. And therefore, we want to also enhance transparency and traceability so that they can meet the sustainability standards. And we want to streamline the trade and efficient digital transactions so that they can be, they can get the advantage of some grants or some loans and so on from banks and other financial institutions. They can also get advantage of insurance, and so on. And that is how we want to integrate them again later on with carbon credit projects. If we have data, if we have understood that there are best practices which can enhance, their performance, but also decrease carbon emissions through agriculture practices, then that can be also done. And that is how, and we also want to know leverage like real-time data to empower decision making for farmers. So this is what we want to do, and therefore we have partnered with Zamak. Zamak is a Zambian commodity exchange platform, which is digital commodity exchange platform. And therefore this, what we are trying to do here, bring all the farmers on digitalization. By that, what they will do is they will learn digital literacy, so they will become a digital literate. But also, as I mentioned, there would be a lot of or traceability and transparency coming into play. Then, but again, when we invite them for digital this, we will also have a lot of data by which we will be able to understand what is the baseline of carbon emissions. And when we introduce, so we are inviting these farmers from the day one from this program, and we are building their capacity to understand how we should be going about the agriculture. And we will be so they will be building the capacity of understanding how they should be dealing with their soil, waste, and agriculture, and so on. And they are building it for carbon trading. And I have already, say for example, just now there is a harvesting system, a harvesting season, and especially in rice, the waste is generated, that is rice straw and other things. Now, we have plenty of different uses of this rice straw. Someone can make substrate from the rice straw so that they can grow mushrooms there. Other, we can also use this rice straw to create other commodities and biochar, and also, I think Bao has fine and very nicely explained you. So there are plenty of uses of these things, but also at the same time, uh, we need to think of how we can increase the better variety so that we can get a better prices, and how we can also make our crops resilient to the climate, and so on. So there are plenty of different things, that innovative things that we can do. And finally, what we want to do, that after getting this data, and if we are, say for example, we have got a cluster of 10,000 people who are doing at the same location and doing same crop, and if we have intervened with something that is going to change their performance for better, then we can register such projects for carbon credit projects revenue. And therefore, we have also partnered with Spread, who will help us to do that. So here we have four stakeholders, like smallholder farmers, cooperatives, and carbon advisory firm like us, and then carbon exchange marketplace. So, and what we think, that if we have, say, uh, if we look at the revenue share, then smallholder farmers will have 50% revenue share, and the rest of the 50 will be spread between the other stakeholders. And if we look at the financial projection model, then it looks as if that it looks like we if we have a cluster of 10,000 farmers, then we will be able to allow $250,000 to like it will allow the income of $250,000 to smallholder farmers. So that is where it helps to move to sustainable practices. So, this is a huge work, and 20 million farmers. So how to reach out there? So we have created independent continental champions council for 20 million farmers initiative, and we have already got 340 champions who are taking this voice to the farmers. And let me come to now, yeah, so that is how we are rolling out the 20 million farmers. But now I want to tell about what uh, especially university, community, and businesses and students can do. And that is where I want to bring GSFN Green Awards. And so the goal of the GSFN Green Award is to help signatories. Signatories are the businesses who would sign for GSFN and Green Awards. And I'm happy that if anyone wants to join this type of partnership with us, we will change the name according to the local community or local university. And what we want to do is we want to improve sustainable performance and address existing challenges throughout the whole industry. And we want to change the operations of the industry towards best practices. And how we want to do is, even this has been raised in many documents, including this DESA, Department of Economic and Social Affairs, that we need to focus on SMEs to achieve our sustainable development goals. And exactly, it is something like farmers. Farmers form 70 to 80% of our population, and directly or indirectly working with food and agriculture, we have 70 to 80% of people. At the same time, we have in businesses, we have 90% or more SMEs. And therefore, we need to focus on SME, because though each one of them think that, oh, I'm doing very little harm to the environment, or I'm doing very little input to the economy, but this whole section of SME does a lot work, either if we are talking about harm or if we are talking about profit. So we need to focus on them, and there are various sectors within SMEs. And here what I have generalized that each and every sector can achieve award, but it is because this award focuses on activities. Each and every business uses energy, uses water, uses generate waste, and so on. It depends, it may be more or less, but each one has this activity, and we need to focus on activities, how to lessen or how to improve our activity in performance. That is, say for example, if it is energy, then how we become more and more energy efficient, or going further, how we create renewable and how we use renewable energy, and going further, how we generate renewable energy. And these are the way that if we go step by step ahead, then every step gives you a reward. And that is what we want to do through this scheme, this initiative. So it is about helping businesses excel by recognizing their excellence. And so we can recognize the excellence in operational efficiencies, sustainable practices, human resources, compliance, innovation, digital transformation, and many others. And we have and this framework is specially adopted for best practices, but also we have developed this framework based on many high level sustainability standards which are already accepted by the businesses. So detailed manual can be given to you, and we can have a guideline, checklist, and all we can help you technically to prepare for such awards. and I welcome any proposal from this university if they are interested. So what can happen that there could be range of awards in different categories. There would be one country chair or one university chair or someone who would be just one person who can handle at local level. We from the international level will be providing all the technical help, and they can also create one or two or three team for different sectors and different areas, and these signatories engage with them. They provide some evidence of better performance, and that is how they get the award. We are trying to roll out award every 3 months, and so it could be fast paced, but depending on the local context, we can try to see how we can roll out. So this is what it is about, this there is a threefold outcome that I say for such a program. And what happens that university, GSFN at an international level, university or any whoever is interested is at local level. But I think university is well placed because they can immediately impress local businesses, but they also have students who can learn how to assess these, how can they get involved in this type of activity, and therefore students can and we are happy to train students to become assessors of these local businesses and provide them a certificate. So you know this is what I would suggest, that you can think on this proposal. And when we are having such event at local level, there is an increased networking and real world experience, and more and more eco social products and services are created out of such initiative. And that is how it is very important that the community also gets better products. So the key evaluation areas, I won't go through every one of these, but you can have 48 to 72 different areas where you can assess a company. And we can start with one at a time. Any company can start with one at a time and go forward. And that is how, we can build a better place, better performance of the community. So here again, I have just put the framework for assessment and review process, that there are sustainable goals, operational effectiveness we look at, industrial development, so how to see that according to industrial development what they have done and so on. And so we can look at these all areas when we try to assess for any company for award. And there would be 5 level of awards. One is commitment. So any company would, or any organization will get first award when they sign up, meaning that they have committed to do something, and therefore everyone will get an award. And then bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Here I have put a framework of how we will try to assess, because this is, again, as I said, we have studied several frameworks, and depending on that we have brought this framework together. And we will assess all the signatories, that is whoever signed up for this award, accordingly. And everything is on my website. It is open and public for people to see. And we want to roll out from next year, that is January. We are inviting all the chairs. From now, we are inviting all the partners, whoever want to partner with us. And these are again award decision metrics, which is easy to understand. If everything is given, I can also share with you. And I have also given some examples where you can read and understand that what I mean by this all. So, and we will definitely give some training to the staff and the students who are interested in becoming the assessors of the, signatories. And so these are again award type one, and I have taken particular example of a school and so on. So these are again several examples. So now what I want, that I am suggesting that if we get, if we want to motivate plenty of people, we just put very small price on this so that we can keep ourselves maintained, but also we can, motivate several companies or several organizations to make a change for better. So that is, and it can be discussed, it can be depending on the local context and so on. Now I finally come to US ASEAN 100, where we this year, just few months ago, we started accelerating innovation, trade, and green growth. And I know Bao will be speaking on it, or must have spoken a lot about it. And however, our target is 100 projects in 100 weeks, and our vision is to digitally connect and impact trade ecosystem that empowers farmers and de-advantaged groups, leveraging green technology and foster innovation-driven partnerships between US and ASEAN. Here, I am not from US or ASEAN, but I am the connector. I am from UK. And Uh, sorry. Uh, what happened? Uh, 1 second. Ah, so I should, okay. Oh, I was stuck for a while, so sorry about it. Now I think I need to reshare. Stop share and reshare again. Okay, so here, so we are inviting all type of organizations to come forward to join us, and we have got very good and actually Pao is here as part of this initiative. So I'm very glad that he has made been able to be in person. And I won't go too much on this all. I know that I have taken a lot of time, but of course, yes, whoever wants to get started with us, we are inviting pilots, partners, innovators and all, where we can see and how we can engage. Let us know, and we will be with you. Um, and especially what we want to have is, like, of course, economic benefits to people, but also we want to increase ESG, that is environmental social governance, and we also want to make self-sustaining. And that's why when I mentioned about the green award, we said we will put some price to the green award. We want to sustain everyone, like the people who work with us, because that is the biggest like when I started this my network from 5 years, but lately from 2 years, people are saying, "What's the like benefit of being in your network? We don't get jobs and so on." And that's why we have created these all initiatives, so that people on ground can get jobs, but also become leaders in their own respective areas. And that is where we want to move. And so we will be coming up with our conferences also next year, uh, and so there would be networking event and many others. Just to let you know, GSFN has done already 9 Global South summits, and this year, next month, we are going to do our annual program with Ethiopia, and we are conducting Ethiopia Global South Summit. And finally, I want to say that we are engaging with all type of industries. So you are welcome. And so thank you very much. much to me. Thank you.